Jake Morrison walked down the long white hallway of the UES horizon. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. 3 months ago, he had been studying plants on a new planet. Now he was about to meet the last member of an alien race. The ship was quiet. Most of the crew was sleeping during the night shift. Jake carried a small tablet with notes about the Etherian woman. Her name was Lyria Velnara. She had been found alone in a broken spaceship, sleeping in a special pod that kept her alive. Jake stopped at door 47B. He took a deep breath and pressed the button. The door slid open with a soft sound. The room was different from the rest of the ship. The lights were softer and had a blue color. Plants from her homeworld grew in special boxes along the walls. The air smelled like flowers and rain. Lyria sat by the window, looking out at the stars. She was tall and thin, with pale, blue skin that had bright lines running across it. The lines glowed softly like tiny lights under her skin. Her hair was long and white like snow. When she turned to look at him, her eyes were the color of deep ocean water. "Hello," Jake said slowly. He had been learning her language for 2 weeks, but he still found it hard to speak. Lyria stood up. She was much taller than Jake, maybe 7 feet. "Hello, Jake Morrison," she said in English. Her voice was soft and musical. "I have been waiting for you." Jake was surprised. "You speak English?" "Learn fast," she said. "I have been listening to your ship's computer. Your language is interesting." Jake sat down in the chair across from her. "How are you feeling?" Lyria's glowing lines dimmed. "I am alive. That is more than I can say for the rest of my people." The sadness in her voice made Jake's chest feel tight. He had read the reports. The Etherian homeworld had been hit by a sickness that killed almost everyone. Ships from many different planets had looked for survivors. They had found only 12 people alive in the whole galaxy. Now there were none left except Lyria. "I'm sorry," Jake said. "I can't imagine how that feels." "Can you not?" Lyria asked. She tilted her head to one side. "Your people have wars. You understand loss." Jake thought about the Centauri War. He had been a medic then, trying to save soldiers who were hurt. Many of them died anyway. But that was different from losing everyone. "Yes, but not like this," he said. "Not everyone at once." Lyria sat down again. The lights under her skin changed from blue to a sad purple color. "Dr. Turner tells me you will help me learn about humans, and I will teach you about my people." "If you want to," Jake said. "We don't have to if it's too hard." "It is all hard now," Lyria said. "But if I do not share our stories, who will remember us? Who will know that the Etherians ever lived?" Jake looked at her glowing skin and the way she moved like she was dancing even when sitting still. "Tell me something about your people. Something good." Lyria's eyes got brighter. "We could hear the music of the stars. Each planet, each moon, had its own song. When many of us were together, we could hear the whole galaxy singing. That sounds beautiful." It was. "My mother used to take me to the high places on our world. We would lie on the soft grass and listen to the star songs all night. She said each song told the story of that world and all the life on it." Jake watched. The purple lines under her skin slowly turned back to blue. "Can you still hear them?" "Yes, but they are quieter now. Sadder. Many of the songs have stopped." She looked out the window again. "Your world has a young song, full of energy and hope. Sometimes it is too loud, but it is alive." "What does Earth's song sound like?" Lyria closed her eyes. "Like a child learning to run, sometimes falling, but always getting up again, always moving forward." Jake smiled. "That sounds like us." They sat quietly for a while. Jake looked around the room and saw small things that must have come from her ship. A crystal that changed colors in the light. A small plant with silver leaves. Pictures on the wall showing a beautiful world with purple sky and floating islands. "Fool. Reports say your ship was damaged," Jake said. "How long were you sleeping?" 3 years, Lyria said. I was going to the Andromeda Galaxy to find others who had escaped, but my ship broke and I had to sleep until someone found me. Were there others in Andromeda? Lyria's lines dimmed again. Dr. Turner told me that ship crashed 2 months ago. No survivors. Jake felt angry at Dr. Turner for telling her such hard news, but he knew it was better for her to know the truth. I'm sorry, he said again. You say that word often, Lyria said. Sorry. It is a good word. It shows you care about pain you did not cause. Don't your people say sorry? We do, but differently. We share the feeling instead of just words. Jake was curious. How do you share feelings? Lyria looked at him for a long moment. May I show you? It will not hurt. Jake nodded. Lyria reached out and gently touched his hand. Her skin was warm and smooth. The glowing lines on her arm got brighter. Suddenly, Jake felt what she was feeling. The deep sadness was there, but also something else. Relief that she was not alone anymore. Hope that maybe her people's stories would not die with her. She pulled her hand away. Jake sat still, surprised by what he had felt. That was incredible, he said. It is how we talk when words are not enough, Lyria said. All Etherians can do this. Jake looked at her with new understanding. She was not just the last of her kind. She was the last person who could share feelings that way. The last person who could hear star songs. The last person who knew thousands of years of stories and music and art. Will you teach me more? Jake asked. Will you teach me about humans? Yes. Then we will learn together, Lyria said. The lines under her skin glowed a little brighter, and Jake thought it might be her way of smiling. Outside the window, the stars shone in the dark. Jake did not know that in just a few days Dr. Turner would make a discovery that would change both their lives forever. He did not know that he and Lyria would become the center of a debate that would involve the whole galaxy. Right now, he only knew that he was sitting with someone who had lost everything, but was still willing to share what she remembered. Someone who was alone in a way he could barely understand, but who was still trying to hope. The star songs that only she could hear played around them in the quiet room, and Jake began to understand that some kinds of music were too important to let die. 2 weeks had passed since Jake first met Lyria. Every day he would visit her room after his work was done. They would talk about their worlds, their people, and their lives. Jake was learning her language faster now, and Lyria spoke English, almost perfectly. Dr. Alex Turner was Jake's old friend and the chief science officer on the ship. He was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes. He had been studying Lyria's biology to help her stay healthy on a human ship. Jake was eating breakfast in the ship's dining hall when Dr. Turner sat down across from him. The older man looked excited and worried at the same time. Jake, I need to talk to you, Dr. Turner said quietly. It's about Lyria. Is she sick? Jake asked quickly. He had grown to care about Lyria over the past weeks. The thought of losing her too made his stomach feel cold. No, she's fine, but I found something strange in her blood tests. Something impossible. Dr. Turner pulled out his tablet and showed Jake numbers and charts that he did not understand. What am I looking at? Jake asked. DNA patterns, Dr. Turner said. Lyria's DNA and human DNA should be completely different. We evolved on worlds that are thousands of light years apart, but look at this. He pointed to 2 charts side by side. Even Jake could see they looked similar. They match? Jake asked. Not exactly, but close enough. Close enough that... Dr. Turner stopped talking and looked around to make sure no one was listening. Close enough that reproduction might be possible. Jake almost dropped his coffee cup. What? I know it sounds crazy, but the basic structures are the same. It's like both species came from the same source billions of years ago. Jake stared at the charts. So you're saying humans and Etherians could have children together? Maybe. But that's not the strange part. Dr. Turner touched the screen and showed more numbers. I tested her DNA against our whole crew database. Out of 3,000 people on this ship, Only one person has the right genetic markers to be compatible. Jake looked at the name on the screen. It was his own. Me? He whispered. You. And Jake, this genetic combination is so rare that you might be the only compatible human in the whole galaxy. We're talking about less than 1 in a million people. Jake felt dizzy. He put his head in his hands. This can't be real. I've checked it 20 times. I even sent the data to Earth. They're best. Scientists confirmed it. Does Lyria know? Not yet. I wanted to talk to you first. Dr. Turner leaned forward. Jake, do you understand what this means? She's the last of her people. You might be her only chance to save her species. Jake stood up fast, almost knocking over his chair. No, this is crazy. You can't just tell someone that they need to. I'm not telling you to do anything, Dr. Turner said. I'm just giving you the facts. But Jake was already walking away. He needed air. He needed space to think. He went to the ship's observation deck. It was a big room with windows that showed the stars and empty space. Jake often came here when he was upset. He thought about Lyria sitting alone in her room, not knowing that she might not have to be the last of her people. He thought about the responsibility that Dr. Turner had just put on his shoulders. How could he be the only one? Out of billions of humans, how could it be him? Jake. He turned around. Lyria was standing behind him. Her glowing lines were dim, which meant she was worried. Hi, he said. You left our language lesson, she said. Are you well? Jake looked at her beautiful alien face. How could he tell her what Dr. Turner had discovered? How could he tell her that her species might survive, but only if she had children with him? I'm fine, he lied. Just thinking about work. Lyria walked closer. Her lines got a little brighter. You are not telling the truth. I can sense your emotions are very strong right now. Jake forgot that Etherians could feel what others were feeling. It's complicated. Most important things are. Lyria stood beside him at the window. Will you tell me what troubles you? Jake was quiet for a long time. Finally, he said, what if you found out there was a way to save your people, but it meant changing your whole life? Lyria's lines glowed brighter. What do you mean? I mean, what if you didn't have to be the last one? That is not possible. All my people are dead. But what if their children could live? Different children, but still carrying Etherian blood? Lyria turned to look at him directly. Jake, what are you not telling me? Jake took a deep breath. He could not keep this secret from her. It was her life, her choice to make. Dr. Turner found something in your blood tests. Human and Etherian DNA are similar enough that we might be able to have children together. Lyria went very still. The lines under her skin flashed bright white for a moment, then went dark. That is not possible, she whispered. He's tested it many times. But Lyria, there's more. Out of all the humans we know about, only my DNA is compatible with yours. Lyria sat down hard in one of the chairs. She put her face in her hands. No, this cannot be. Jake sat down next to her. I know it's a shock. I'm still trying to understand it myself. You do not understand, Lyria said without looking up. For my people, having children is not just about biology. It is about love. About choosing to share your soul with another person forever. I know. Dr. Turner isn't saying we have to do anything. He's just telling us it's possible. Lyria finally looked at him. Her ocean blue eyes were full of tears. But now I know it is possible. How can I choose to let my people die when there is a way to save them? Maybe the children wouldn't be fully Etherian, Jake said. They would be half human, too. Half is better than nothing, Lyria said sadly. But Jake, I cannot ask this of you. It would not be fair. You're not asking. I'm just telling you what we learned. They sat quietly for a while, both thinking about what this meant. Outside the window, stars moved slowly past as the ship traveled through space. Would you want to? Lyria asked quietly. If you could save a whole species, would you do it? Jake thought about it. He thought about all the Etherian art and music, and knowledge that would die with Lyria. He thought about children who would never exist, star songs that would never be heard again. I don't know, he said honestly. It's too big to decide right now. Yes, too big. Lyria wiped her eyes. Jake, can I ask you something personal? Sure. Do you have someone you love? Someone waiting for you at home? Jake shook his head. No. The war made it hard to get close to people. I've been alone for a long time. I had someone once, Lyria said. His name was Kyle. He died in the first wave of the sickness. I was supposed to join with him and have children. Now you might have children with a stranger instead. You are not a stranger anymore, Lyria said. You are my friend. Is that enough for something this important? Lyria was quiet for a long time. I do not know. My people believe that love grows from understanding. We spend years learning about each other before we join, but we do not have years. No, we don't. Captain Lisa Hayes's voice came over the ship's speakers. All senior staff to the meeting room. Priority 1. Jake and Lyria looked at each other. I think word is getting out, Jake said. What happens now? Lyria asked. Now everyone else gets to have opinions about our lives. Jake stood up and offered Lyria his hand. She took it, and for a moment he felt her emotions again. Fear, hope, loneliness, and something else he could not name. Whatever happens, Jake said, you won't have to face it alone. Lyria's lines glowed soft blue. Thank you. They walked toward the meeting room together, not knowing that their discovery was already being sent to Earth and to the Galactic Council. In a few hours, their private decision would become a matter of interstellar politics. But for now, they were just two people trying to figure out how to carry the weight of an entire species' future. 6 months had passed since the discovery. The UES Horizon was no longer a quiet research ship. News crews from 12 different worlds had come aboard. Politicians from Earth sent messages every day. The Galactic Council had meetings about Jake and Lyria's situation. Jake walked through the ship's hallways and saw reporters everywhere. They pointed cameras at him and asked questions he did not want to answer. Security guards followed him to keep people away, but he still felt like he could not breathe. Jake Morrison, how do you feel about saving an entire species? A reporter shouted. Will you marry the alien woman? Another one called. Jake walked faster. He hated being called a hero when he had not done anything yet. He hated that strangers talked about Lyria like she was just the alien woman instead of a person with feelings. He reached Lyria's room and pressed the button. The door opened and he stepped inside quickly. The guards stayed outside to keep reporters away. Lyria was sitting on her bed holding a small crystal from her home world. Her glowing lines were very dim, almost gray. She looked tired and sad. How are you holding up? Jake asked. I have been better, Lyria said. 3 more news teams asked to interview me today. They want me to cry on camera about my dead people. Jake sat down in the chair across from her. Over the past months, they had become close friends. He had learned to read her mood by the color of her skin lines. Gray meant she was very upset. Captain Hayes can make them stop, Jake said. She tries, but there are always more. And the messages from politicians. Lyria shook her head. They do not see me as a person. They see me as the last of something valuable that might be saved. Jake understood. He got similar messages. People on Earth called him a hero and a villain at the same time. Some said he had a duty to help Lyria. Others said human genetics should stay pure. Did you see the protest videos from Earth? Jake asked. Yes. People holding signs about me. Some saying, save the Etherians, and others saying, keep Earth human. They are fighting about us, and they do not even know us. Jake's tablet beeped with a new message. He looked at it and frowned. What is it? Lyria asked. My sister Kate. She says protesters are outside my parents' house again. Mom is afraid to go to the store. Lyria's lines flashed red with anger. This is wrong. Your family should not suffer because of our situation. It's not your fault, Jake said quickly. Is it not? If I had died with my people, none of this would be happening. Don't say that. Jake moved to sit on the bed next to her. Lyria, you're not just the last Etherian. You're my friend. I don't want you to die. Lyria looked at him with her deep, blue eyes. But you do not want to have children with me either. Jake was quiet. It was true, but not for the reasons she might think. It's not about you. It's about everyone else. Every time we talk now, I know that 1 billion people are waiting to hear what we decide. How can we make a choice about love when the whole galaxy is watching? We cannot, Lyria said sadly. Love grows in quiet places, not under bright lights. They sat together in silence. Outside, Jake could hear reporters talking in the hallway. Lyria, can I ask you something personal? Of course. If none of this was happening, no reporters, no pressure, no politics, would you want to try? With me, I mean. Lyria's line slowly changed from gray to soft purple. Jake, do you know what you are asking? I think so. For my people, joining with someone is not like human marriage. When we have children, we share part of our life force with them. The mother and father become connected for life. Their thoughts, feelings, even their dreams become linked. Jake had not known this. Forever, forever, that is why we choose very carefully, and that is why having children without love is impossible for us. The connection would drive us mad if we did not truly care for each other. Jake stared at her. So even if we wanted to save your species, we couldn't do it unless we actually loved each other? Yes. The act of creation requires the sharing of souls. Without love, there would be no life force to share. Jake felt something between relief and sadness. So all these politicians and reporters are fighting about something that might not even be possible. Not unless we choose it freely. Not unless our hearts choose it. Jake looked at Lyria's beautiful, sad face. Over the past months, he had grown to care about her more than he wanted to admit. She was smart and funny and brave. She made him feel less alone. But was that love? How could he tell when everyone expected him to feel it? I care about you, Jake said slowly. More than I thought I would when we first met. I care about you too, Lyria said. You are kind and patient. You listen to my stories without getting bored. You make me laugh even when I'm sad. But is that enough? I do not know. How do humans know when they love someone? Jake thought about it. I guess you just know. You want to be with them all the time. You think about them when they're not there. You would do anything to keep them safe. Lyria's lines got a little brighter. Those sound like good reasons. Do you think about me when I'm not here? Jake asked. Yes. Do you think about me? Yes. Would you try to keep me safe? I already do. Every day. They looked at each other. Jake felt something changing between them. Not just friendship anymore, but not quite love yet either. Something in between that might grow into love if they let it. Lyria reached out and touched his hand. Her skin was warm. Jake, may I try something? What? I want to share a memory with you, one that is important to me. Jake nodded. Lyria closed her eyes and held his hand tighter. Her lines glowed bright blue. Suddenly, Jake was somewhere else. He was standing in a beautiful garden under a purple sky. The air smelled like flowers and rain. A younger Lyria was there with a tall Etherian man who must have been Kale. They were laughing and chasing each other through the silver grass. Their lines glowed bright gold with happiness. Then the memory changed. Kale was sick, lying in a bed. His lines were gray and dim. Lyria held his hand as he died. Her grief felt like a knife in Jake's chest. The memory ended. Jake opened his eyes and saw tears on Lyria's face. I loved him very much, she said. But he is gone. I thought I would never feel anything like that again. But you're starting to? Maybe. With you. She wiped her eyes. Is that wrong? To love someone new when the first person is dead? No, Jake said firmly. Kale would want you to be happy. How do you know? Because I would want the same thing if I were him. Lyria smiled for the first time in weeks. Her lines glowed soft blue. You are a good man, Jake Morrison. You're a good woman, Lyria Velnara. They sat holding hands and looking at each other. Outside, the reporters were still talking and the politicians were still arguing. But in the quiet of Lyria's room, something new was beginning to grow. Jake's tablet beeped again. This time it was Captain Hayes. Emergency meeting. Both of you. Now. Jake and Lyria looked at each other. What do you think happened? Lyria asked. Nothing good, Jake said. They walked to the meeting room together. Dr. Turner was there with Captain Hayes and several people Jake did not recognize. They all looked very serious. Sit down, Captain Hayes said. We have a problem. What kind of problem? Jake asked. One of the strangers spoke up. The Pure Earth movement has sent a ship. They're planning to attack this vessel to stop what they call genetic contamination. Jake felt cold. They want to kill us? They want to kill Lyria, the man said. They see her as a threat to human purity. Lyria's lines went dark with fear. Jake moved closer to her. How long do we have? Jake asked. 6 hours, Captain Hayes said. Maybe less. Jake looked at Lyria. Her hands were shaking. Without thinking, he took her hand in his. She squeezed tight. What do we do? Lyria asked. We protect you both, Captain. Hayes said, but this changes everything. The galaxy is watching to see what happens next. Jake realized that their quiet moment of maybe love was over. Now they had to face people who wanted to kill them for something they had not even chosen to do yet. But as he held Lyria's hand, he knew one thing for certain. He would not let anyone hurt her. Whatever was growing between them, it was worth protecting. The attack came during the night shift. Jake was sleeping when alarms woke him up. Red lights flashed in his room and Captain Hayes' voice came over the speakers. All crew to emergency stations, we are under attack. Jake jumped out of bed and ran toward Lyria's room. The ship shook as weapons hit it. Emergency lights made everything look scary and red. When he reached Lyria's door, it was already open. She was standing in the hallway with 2 security guards. Her lines were flashing white and blue with fear. Jake, she called when she saw him. He ran to her and pulled her close. Another blast hit the ship and they almost fell down. We need to get you both to the safe room, one of the guards said. They ran through hallways full of crew members rushing to their jobs. The ship shook again and again. Jake could hear weapons firing back at their attackers. The safe room was in the center of the ship where it was hardest to reach. Dr. Turner was already there with Captain Hayes and other important officers. How bad is it? Jake asked. 3 ships, Captain Hayes said. Pure Earth movement. They have good weapons, but we have better shields. Why are they doing this? Lyria asked. Her voice was quiet and sad. They think human DNA should stay pure, Dr. Turner said. They see you as a threat to our species. But I have never hurt anyone, Lyria said. Fear makes people do terrible things, Captain Hayes said. The ship shook harder. A voice came over the speakers from the attacking ships. UES. Horizon, give us the alien and we will leave you alone. She does not belong in human space. Captain Hayes picked up a microphone. This is Captain Hayes. We do not give up crew members to terrorists. Leave now, or we will destroy you. Then you will die with the alien, the voice said. More weapons hit the ship. The lights went out for a moment, then came back on. Jake held Lyria's hand. Are you okay? I am scared, she said. But not for myself. I am scared for you and your crew. People are going to die because of me. People are going to die because other people are stupid and mean, Jake said. That's not your fault. Dr. Turner was looking at his tablet. Jake, Lyria, I need to tell you something important. What now? Jake asked. I've been running more tests on your genetic compatibility. I found something new. Even with the battle going on around them, everyone looked at Dr. Turner. The process of Etherian reproduction is more dangerous than we thought, Dr. Turner said. When the mother shares her life force with the child, she uses most of her own energy. Many Etherian mothers died in childbirth. Lyria nodded sadly. Yes, it was always a risk for our people. But for a human-Etherian hybrid, the risk would be even higher, Dr. Turner continued. And Jake, as the father, you would need to share your life force too. The process could kill both of you. Jake felt like someone had hit him in the stomach. How could it kill me? Etherian reproduction requires both parents to give part of their life energy to create the child. Your nervous system isn't designed for that kind of energy transfer. It could stop your heart. So even if we wanted to try, we might die anyway, Lyria asked. Yes. The chance of success would be maybe 30%. The chance of both of you surviving would be even less. The ship shook again. Captain Hayes was talking to her officers about weapons and shields, but Jake could only think about what Dr. Turner had just told them. Why didn't you tell us this before? Jake asked. I only figured it out yesterday. I was going to tell you after we dealt with the attack. Lyria was very quiet. Her lines had gone completely gray. So my people are truly dead, she said. Even if we try to save them, we will probably just die too. Maybe, Dr. Turner said. But maybe not. I think there might be a way to increase the chances. How? By creating a machine that could help with the life force transfer, something that could share the energy load between both of you and keep you alive during the process. Could that work? Jake asked. I don't know. We would be doing something that has never been tried before. We would be guinea pigs. Another blast hit the ship. This one was stronger. The lights went out and did not come back on right away. Captain, one of the officers said, our shields are down to 60%. Keep firing, Captain Hayes ordered. Jake looked at Lyria in the dim emergency lights. Even scared and sad, she was beautiful. Her glowing lines were the only bright thing in the dark room. Lyria, he said quietly, if we had a choice, with no pressure from anyone else, what would you want to do? What do you mean? I mean, if we could go somewhere quiet and safe and no one cared what we decided. If it was just about us and what we wanted, would you want to try? Lyria looked at him for a long time. Are you saying you want to try? I'm saying I think I'm falling in love with you, Jake said. And if there's a chance to save your people, maybe we should take it, even if it's dangerous. Lyria's lines flashed bright blue. You love me? I think so. I know I don't want to lose you. I know that when I think about you dying, it feels like someone is cutting out my heart. Jake. Lyria touched his face with her hand. Her skin was warm and soft. I think I am falling in love with you too. Even though I'm not Etherian. Because you are kind and brave and good. Because you make me laugh when I want to cry. Because you see me as a person, not just the last of something rare. They looked at each other in the red emergency lights. Around them, the battle continued, but for a moment they forgot about everything else. So what do we do? Jake asked. We survive this attack first, Lyria said. Then we decide together. The ship shook again, harder than before. One of the officers fell down. Captain, another officer called out, they're trying to board us. All security teams to deck 7, Captain Hayes ordered. Jake stood up. I should help. No, Captain Hayes said. You stay here with Lyria. You're too important to risk. I'm a trained medic. People might be hurt. I said no. But Jake was already moving toward the door. I can't just hide while people fight for us. Lyria grabbed his arm. Jake, do not go, please. I have to. If someone gets hurt because I was hiding, I'll never forgive myself. Lyria looked at him with her ocean blue eyes. Then I am coming with you. Absolutely not, Captain Hayes said. I can help too, Lyria said. I can heal people with my touch. I can sense where the injured are. It's too dangerous, Jake said. So is hiding while good people die for us, Lyria replied. Captain Hayes looked angry, but before she could say anything, an explosion rocked the ship. The lights went out completely. In the darkness, Jake heard Lyria gasp. Her lines were glowing brighter now, like she was using them to see. There are injured people on Deck 7, she said. I can sense their pain. Fine, Captain Hayes said, but you stay together, and you follow orders. Jake and Lyria ran through the dark hallways together. Her glowing lines gave them enough light to see where they were going. Behind them, Dr. Turner and 2 security guards followed. They reached Deck 7 and found chaos. Part of the wall had been blown open. Several crew members were hurt and bleeding. Enemy soldiers in black armor were fighting with ship security. Jake ran to help the injured, while Lyria knelt beside a woman who was unconscious. She put her hands on the woman's head and her lines glowed brighter. The woman's eyes opened. How did you do that? Jake asked. Life force sharing, Lyria said. I gave her some of my energy. Jake worked on a man with a broken arm while Lyria moved from person to person, healing them with her touch. Even in the middle of a battle, she was saving lives. That was when Jake knew for certain that he loved her, not because she was the last of her species. Not because politicians expected him to, but because she was the kind of person who would risk her own life to help others. An enemy soldier turned his weapon toward Lyria. Without thinking, Jake threw himself in front of her. The energy blast hit him in the chest and everything went dark. Jake woke up in the medical bay 3 days later. His chest hurt and his head felt fuzzy. The first thing he saw was Lyria sitting beside his bed. Her lines were dim with worry, but they got brighter when she saw him open his eyes. You are awake, she said softly. Did we win? Jake asked. His voice was rough and quiet. Yes. The pure Earth ships were destroyed. But Jake, you almost died. Jake tried to sit up, but pain shot through his chest. What happened? The weapon blast stopped your heart. Dr. Turner could not get it beating again. Lyria took his hand. So I shared my life force with you. I kept you alive until the machines could help. You saved my life. You saved mine first. You took the blast that was meant for me. Jake looked at her beautiful face. Of course I did. I love you. Lyria's lines flashed bright gold. I love you too. They kissed for the first time right there, in the medical bay. Her lips were warm and soft. When they pulled apart, Jake felt more alive than he had in years. Lyria, when you shared your life force with me, did that create a connection between us? A small one, she said. I can feel your emotions a little bit now. Can you feel mine? Jake concentrated. He could sense something warm and happy coming from her. Yes? Is that what it would be like if we had children? Stronger, much stronger. We would be connected for life. Are you ready for that? Lyria was quiet for a moment. Are you? I think so. But not because I have to save your species, because I want to be connected to you forever. Even if we die trying? Even then. Dr. Turner came into the medical bay. He looked tired but happy to see Jake awake. How are you feeling? Dr. Turner asked. Like I got hit by a spaceship, Jake said. Close enough, you're lucky to be alive. Dr. Turner sat down. I have news about the machine I was designing. The one to help with the life force transfer. Good news. Or bad news, Lyria asked. Good news, I think it will work. The computer models show a 70% chance of success instead of 30%. Jake and Lyria looked at each other. Those are better odds, Jake said. But still dangerous, Dr. Turner warned. You could both die. Are you sure you want to try? We've talked about it, Lyria said. We want to try, not because we have to, but because we want to. Because we love each other, Jake added. Dr. Turner smiled. Those are the right reasons. Captain Hayes came in. Good to see you awake. Jake, we have a problem. What now? Jake asked. Word about the attack has spread. The Galactic Council is angry that humans attacked an alien refugee. They want to make an example of Earth. What kind of example? Lyria asked. Trade restrictions. Maybe kicking humans out of the council completely. Jake felt sick. So because some idiots attacked us, all of humanity gets punished? Unless we can show that most humans are better than the pure Earth movement, Captain Hayes said. How do we do that? Lyria asked. Captain Hayes looked at both of them. By showing the galaxy that humans can work with other species. By proving that love is stronger than fear. Jake understood. You want us to have the ceremony in public. Not the private parts, Captain Hayes said quickly. But the joining ceremony, yes. Let the galaxy see that humans and Etherians can create something beautiful together. No pressure, Jake said. I know it's a lot to ask, Captain Hayes said. But it could change how the galaxy sees humanity. Jake looked at Lyria. Through their small connection, he could feel what she was thinking. She was scared, but willing. We'll do it, Jake said. But we do it our way. No politicians making speeches. No reporters asking stupid questions. Just our friends and family. Deal, Captain Hayes said. 2 months later, the UES Horizon was docked at a space station near Earth. Jake's family had come from Colorado. His parents were nervous but proud. His sister Kate had brought flowers from Earth. Representatives from dozens of alien species were there to watch. The Galactic Council had sent their best scientists to study the process. But Jake tried to ignore all of them. In the special room Dr. Turner had built, Jake and Lyria stood facing each other. She wore a flowing dress that changed colors like her skin lines. Jake wore a simple suit that Kate had picked out. Dr. Turner explained the process to the watching crowd. The machine will monitor their life forces and help balance the energy transfer. If anything goes wrong, it will stop the process automatically. Jake was not listening to the technical talk. He was looking at Lyria's beautiful face and feeling the love that flowed between them through their connection. Are you ready? Lyria asked quietly. I've been ready since the day I met you, Jake said. They lay down on the special beds Dr. Turner had built. Machines hummed quietly around them. Lyria reached out and took Jake's hand. If this works, she said, our children will be something new. Not quite human, not quite Etherian. They'll be perfect, Jake said. How do you know? Because they'll be ours. Dr. Turner started the machines. Jake felt energy flowing between him and Lyria. Her lines glowed brighter than he had ever seen. Them. The machines beeped and showed numbers that the scientist watched carefully. The energy transfer was like nothing Jake had ever felt. It was like sharing his soul with Lyria. He could feel her love for him, her hope for their children, her sadness for her lost people, and her joy at not being alone anymore. For a moment, Jake's heart stopped. The machines screamed warnings. But Lyria squeezed his hand tighter and shared more of her life force with him. His heart started beating again. Hours passed. The energy flow continued. Jake felt like he was floating in a warm ocean of light and love. He and Lyria were connected now in a way that could never be broken. When it was over, they were both exhausted but alive. Dr. Turner checked them both and smiled. It worked, he said. The process was successful. The watching crowd cheered. Jake's parents cried happy tears. Representatives from other worlds clapped their hands or tentacles or whatever they had. But Jake only cared about Lyria. She was glowing softly and smiling at him with tears in her eyes. We did it, she whispered. We did it, Jake agreed. 9 months later, their children were born. Twin babies who glowed softly like their mother but had their father's curious brown eyes. Maya and Daniel Morrison Velnara were the first human Etherian hybrids in the galaxy. The babies could do things neither parent could do alone. They could sense emotions like Etherians, but also showed human creativity and stubbornness. When Maya laughed, she glowed bright gold. When Daniel was hungry, his skin turned soft blue. 5 years passed. Jake and Lyria raised their children on a peaceful colony world where other mixed families had come to live. Maya could hear the star songs like her mother, but she also loved human music and art. Daniel was fascinated by machines like his father, but he could feel the emotions of the plants around him. The children were not just half Etherian and half human. They were something entirely new. They represented hope for a galaxy where different species could work together instead of fighting. Other humans with rare genetic markers had been found. More mixed families were created. The colony grew into a small city where human and alien children played together and learned from each other. The Galactic Council had forgiven humanity for the pure Earth attack. Seeing Jake and Lyria's love story had shown them that most humans were good people who could change and grow. One evening, Jake and Lyria sat on their porch watching Maya and Daniel play in the garden. The children were chasing fireflies that glowed different colors when they were happy. "Do you ever regret it?" Jake asked. "Giving up your old life for this?" "Never," Lyria said. She took his hand, and he felt her contentment through their connection. "My people are not truly gone. They live on in our children, mixed with the best of humanity." "What do you think Kale would say if he could see this?" Lyria smiled. "He would say that love finds a way to continue, even when everything seems lost." Jake watched his children playing. Maya was teaching Daniel one of the old Etherian songs, but she added human words to it. Daniel was showing her how to make the fireflies dance in patterns like his father had taught him. "They're not Etherian and they're not human," Jake said. "They're something better." "They are the future," Lyria agreed. "A future where being different makes you stronger, not weaker." As the stars came out, the family went inside. But outside in the garden, the fireflies continued to glow in new patterns that had never existed before, just like the children who had learned to make them dance. The Etherian species had died, but something beautiful had been born from that loss. Love had found a way to create hope from despair, and the galaxy was a little brighter because of it. In the end, Jake and Lyria's story became more than just the tale of the last Etherian. It became proof that when people choose love over fear, when they work together instead of apart, amazing things can happen. The star songs that only Lyria could hear now had new voices added to them, the voices of her children and all the mixed families that followed. The music of the galaxy had grown richer and more complex, just like the civilization they were all building together. And in a small house on a peaceful world, two people who had saved each other slept soundly, knowing that love really could conquer anything.